Hi guys, welcome to another section of Bible Lead VAR, the football detective, and today we'll be looking at the Euro 2020 final between England and Italy. We'll see whether it's actually coming home or going to Rome, and also the Copa America final between Argentina and Brazil. And Lionel Messi actually has a chance to end his international trophy drought. So I'll be joined by some friends, analysts, and we'll actually be talking about both final. So let's meet them. Good to have you guys again.
Good to be back after we were all horribly wrong last time.
Yeah.
Both of you were actually wrong. Both of
We were
you
all
were
wrong,
wrong.
man.
At least I
That's
tried.
that's the joy. That's the joy of football. You just never know.
Okay, so before we talk about the final, maybe we just talk about the round of 16, the quarter, and the semi-final. So actually, we are all shocked. The round of 16, especially. And the group of death, we are thinking maybe one of them will even get to the final, possibly carry it. All of them were exited in the group stage.
They're dead, like the group said.
I mean, the round of 16, yeah. Let's talk about the round of 16 now. So, which one was like the most shocking to you? Annie, let's start with you.
Man, the most shocking. It's got to be the England-Germany. I mean,
I agree.
it's got to be the England-Germany game. I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming at all. Everyone else, Netherlands was really shocking, but not surprising because I did say it that
Yeah.
they might be in trouble. But the most shocking of all would be definitely be England, Germany to me. I wasn't too surprised about Netherlands.
Ines.
I think it's the same match. The same match was the most surprising, and I don't think I'm alone in that. Um, you know, disappointment to say, because I thought it wasn't just going to end that way. Germany didn't even put up the kind of fight we expected them to give. So it was
Yeah.
a little bit disappointing. It was heavily disappointing, not just a little bit, heavily disappointing. But in the long run, it worked out fine. So for England, and they are here in the finals. So Netherlands um, version wasn't really. I mean, Netherlands wasn't a great disappointment. Belgium was a little bit a great disappointment, but I mean, England and Germany was the it. It was just unexpected and so disappointing.
Okay, so any surprises in the semi and quarterfinal?
No, no, not
No,
really.
Oh,
those ones were just. I think this is just the major match that I think went the way
yeah,
people
the
didn't
round of
expect.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Denmark. Most people never actually expected them to get past the group stage, but they actually kept going until they got to the semi-final. So, what do you think is actually the reason for that resilience? And do you think they would have gotten to the final had England not been awarded that penalty? Ernest,
I
Denmark.
think resilience, and people say the injury of Ericsson gave them a different kind of morale. I think I will agree with that. But they were also well organized. The Danish team has always been organized. It's not just this. This is not the first time to see that they were very organized. So they're always organized. And then the injury of Ericsson was a
Ericsson.
motivator and motivated them to see, let us see how far we can go with this. And they gave it a best shot. Most of us feel disappointed and we feel that a different referee would not have awarded that penalty to Sterling, but it happened, and that penalty just destroyed them entirely, and they couldn't survive it.
Annie, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a huge motivation for them to perform more than expectation. Um, when you have something like that, it's not even about the tournament anymore. It's about finishing it with the best that you can, and the best that they could almost got them to the final. I never thought they would even be in the quarterfinals. I didn't expect that, but I did say that they
Yeah.
would, they would beat Czech. I called that they would. I think Ernest and I called it that they would beat Czech pretty easily, which they did. They beat them 4-0. So, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think they were gonna get past that, and only because I didn't think that Germany were gonna lose to England. I assumed that Germany would beat England, and then Germany would beat
Yeah.
Denmark, and Germany would head to the finals. So, yeah, that they should be really proud of themselves about what they've accomplished. They had a very good tournament. The goal they scored, that free kick was amazing. But they didn't really create so much after that. I think England was very dogged with the defending. They were very dogged with the way they maintained possession. But overall, they should be really proud of what they accomplished.
The last time we said Southgate was England's problem. So, and now England, they're actually in the final. So, do you think he's gotten it right at some point? Like he now knows how to utilize his players effectively?
No, I don't think so. I think he got bailed out. I think that penalty bailed him out, because if they hadn't done that penalty,
Yeah.
the goal that Kane scored, I think it was Kane that scored the tying goal. It came off of
Yeah.
the work of Raheem Sterling. So, and then in the second half, he went into the formation and the lineup that we expected to start the game. What's his name came on? Not Rashford. Jadon Sancho came on. Henderson came on.
Yeah.
Grealish went off. I mean, Mount went off for Grealish, and then Grealish came off again, which for Trippier in extra time, which was kind of strange. But I've always felt like that's their strongest lineup. Jadon Sancho should be in there for sure. Saka was okay. Saka made the work. I take that back. Saka made the work for Sterling. For Kane's goal. So Saka was doing well, but when it comes down to it, defensively, he's not as strong as it should be. He's good going forward. So I think it was more luck than him being a genius. Eventually, he got the substitution correct after they got the goal, but that game should have been started by the people that finished it, in my opinion.
Okay. So, Ernest, you said you never liked England advancing, and now they're in the final. So, what can you say about that?
Well, my choice is one thing, and the reality is another thing. The reality on ground is that they have done well for themselves. We must give it to them. The team is not just a pushover anyway. They have a depth that many other teams don't have. Look at the bench and look at what they have and who they have. Then you know
And
that
I think that,
England
and
is
I think that's
actively,
what annoys a lot of people. The fact that they're
yeah,
a strong team. And,
yes,
I
Yeah.
think that's what annoys a lot of people. They have a very good young squad. They have a very good individual players, and somehow they just can't get it right.
yeah.
But yeah,
So it's
they're in
one
the
of the
final.
things yeah, they're in the final. So
Yeah.
many people don't want them to win because people felt, I mean, people still feel that they cheated Denmark,
Yeah.
but they are in the finals and they have a possibility of winning this tournament. Honestly, I don't always want to see them win. I wanted to make them cry, but I think as it stands now, they have a
Yeah.
very good chance of winning the tournament.
So the final we have Italy and England. So do you think it's coming home or it's going to Rome? Any?
I don't think so. I don't think it's coming home. They're gonna have to wait for a little bit longer. And it's not because I don't think England can. I just think Italy is just miles better.
Okay.
Italy defends pretty well. They attack pretty well. They play on the counter really well. Um, Man, I don't know. I don't. It'll be a
So
very good game.
what if they're actually lucky, like we saw with Denmark? You never
Yeah,
can
I
tell.
mean, it's football. Anything can happen. They could get lucky and they
Yeah.
could actually win the game 4-0 for all we know, and Italy could beat them 2-0, 5-0. it could be a draw, it could go to penalty, anything could happen. But on the basis of matchups and dogged resiliency, I feel like Italy, they've been there, done that. I feel like they've been, since, like Ernest said last time, that they've been strong defensively since Paolo Maldini days. And not only now that they have good defense, now they have good offense to go with it. When you think about Italy, you necessarily don't really think about their attack as much as you think about how good the midfield and the defense is. So now they have really good attacking, like Chiesa,
Yeah.
Locatelli, Insigne. Those
Yeah.
guys, they're really good at what they do, and they have a good midfield too. So on basis of matchup, I would definitely go to Italy. But on basis of propaganda and all the noise that England players have been making, they better step up. They better step up, and if they step up and they win it, then for sure, I will give them props, because they would definitely deserve it. It wouldn't be a pushover at all.
England, Italy. What do you think?
It's going to be a tough game. Very, very hard to predict. Most people have already said that, England was set for the final because they played 6 out of 7 games at home. But take nothing away from them, because they've actually worked hard to get where they are. Yeah, you can say that playing at home gives you added advantage, but if we're talking about on-field tactics, player selections from Gareth Southgate, I think so far so good has been spot on from him, and you need to give kudos to them. Also, talking about certain players like Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane. The first 3 group games, Harry Kane did not score any goal. Right now, Harry Kane has 4 goals. So, I mean, if he scores 2 goals in the final, he could go away with the golden boots. So, general gameplay from England has been fantastic. They've been very, very solid players for them. Jack Grealish as well has been instrumental in gameplay. Same thing with Mason Mount. So, but I think the major thing for England so far has been consistency. But then, if we're talking about consistency, you have to give it to the Azzurri. They've been absolutely fantastic. 1 year running in all competitions, unbeaten, with Gianluigi Donnarumma only conceding 1 goal. That's absolutely fantastic. No one saw that even with Roberto Mancini taking over.
What's your prediction for the final? Any?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll pick Italy. I'll pick Italy 2-0.
Oh, so you don't think England actually score by luck or anything?
I don't know if they have enough to trouble Italy's defense. They're a good squad. England they have very good individual performers, but if you think about the way that Italy played Belgium, they were camped in their own half pretty much 80% of the game, and you see De Bruyne and Lukaku playing right in the middle of the field, just right in their own half, and they're just waiting on the counter, Italy, they have enough to trouble the midfield of England, and they have enough to put in a goal when needed. Defensively, we already know what they can do. They're a very strong defensive team, and they have been for a long time. So it'll be a very good game. It'll be hard to predict, but for the sake of prediction, I'll go with a tried and trusted defense of Italy. Then I would trust England.
Okay, 2-0.
I think 2-0. I think they score early, and then the game goes back and forth for a while, and then they score late to seal it.
Okay, what is your prediction for the final?
For me, I think it's going to go all the way to penalties. We could see. I'm actually predicting 2-2 after full time, and then we'll go all the way to penalties, and Italy winning. Italy will definitely win in penalties, because Jordan Pickford's record when it comes to penalty shootouts is terrible. But then Donnarumma has a very, very good record. He's got a very cool head. As you saw in the last penalty shootout, he was so unshaken. Number one, you can see that he studies his opponents, the Italian team always prepares for the unexpected, and you could say that he was prepared for the penalty shootout. You can see the cohesive unit with the goalkeeping team of Italy. With someone like Salvatore Sirigu with his years of experience, giving words of advice to Donnarumma. He's got a good goalkeeping coach as well. So he's and mentally he's way better than Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford is absolutely unpredictable. You don't know when Pickford is going to give you his best game, but we know
He almost cost them
when
the
you compare
penalty.
both goalkeepers. Yeah, but then we know when you compare both goalkeepers, Donnarumma is miles apart, even though Donnarumma is younger. So Italy for me, 2-2 after normal time. We go to penalties. Italy carries the trophy. It's coming to Rome. It's not coming home.
I just hope you guys will not be shocked like the round of 16. I hope so.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and we will take it on the chin because that's football. You can predict, you can put money down, you can do everything you can, and England end up scoring 4-0. You just never know.
Yeah.
Football is just that funny. But
Yeah.
if we're going on, the only thing we can go on is the last couple of games that they've played. England were very lucky to be in the final. We know that. Um,
Yeah.
at the very least, that game should have gone to penalties, at the very least. But they got a penalty. They finished it, and I felt like Casper, not Casper. Well, he did Casper. Schmeichel could have done better. Once you
Yeah.
made contact with the ball, push it away. He was trying to catch it, and the ball spun away from underneath him. So it was arrogance on his part, which I felt like it deserved after the comment he made a couple of days before that.
Yeah.
Once you make contact with the ball, as a goal, I'm not a professional goalkeeper. I'm not a goalkeeper in any way, but on a penalty kicks, once you make contact with the ball, the objective is to push it away, and deal with the consequences later. He tried to catch it, and the power in the ball actually made it spin away from him. After he tried to catch it, the ball went in underneath him, and Kane was right there to put it in. So a little matter of luck on Kane's side, and a little matter of arrogance on Casper's side. But overall, the game should have gone to penalties, and who knows? Maybe Denmark could have put it away in
Denmark.
penalties because, like Okwe said, Jordan is just is I don't. You said
Unpredictable.
everything you needed to say about Jordan. He's a terrible goalkeeper. You just never know what you're going to
Yeah.
get. So I felt like based on the last few games, the game, like I said, the game that was shocking that I felt like England actually deserved was the Germany game. They stuck in. Germany spent about 15, 20 minutes attacking them, and they defended really well. They stuck in, and they got the second goal to seal it. So they deserve that. But that semifinal was a little bit, could have gone either way for sure, like we expected. So, but when you think about Italy, they've only considered one goal. Like Okwe said, they've only considered one goal in how many hours of football? They've lost one. Have they even lost one game in the past couple of years of qualification in tournaments? They went almost 1,000 minutes without considering a goal, so they know what they're doing. And you think about Bonucci and Chiellini, they're both almost 75 years old combined. They've had experience. They know what they're doing. And if you look at the way they handled Lukaku, well, not even Chiellini himself, the way he played against Lukaku, and I don't think the only edge that Kane could have over him is maybe accuracy and just dogged finishing ability that Kane has. But overall, they contained Lukaku really well. They pushed Belgium in their own half. They played a good portion of the game, especially the second half, in Belgium's half. So, which might actually work for England on the counterattack because they have speed. If Southgate can get it right, they have speed. They can catch them on the counterattacks. But I don't expect them to play the same way they played Belgium in the final. They will play a little bit more conservative in respect to England's speed. So we'll see how it goes. It should be a very good game to watch.